Preparation is not something you decide to embrace when the storm is visible on the horizon. It is not something that begins with external pressure or the arrival of fear. True preparation is invisible to the eye, silent to the ear, and constant in rhythm. It is not an event. It is not a feeling. It is a discipline, a way of being, a way of walking through the world regardless of what is happening around you. The warrior does not sharpen his sword only when he hears the drums of war. He sharpens it daily, in silence, in solitude, in the absence of praise or recognition, because the warrior knows that the test does not wait for permission to arrive. Life does not announce its trials with a warning bell. And so, the one who survives, the one who transforms, is not the one who was lucky, but the one who was prepared. When you build your life around discipline, you build it on something that cannot be taken from you. Motivation is like firewood. It burns fast and needs to be replenished constantly. Emotion is like the wind. It shifts with the weather and offers no foundation. But discipline, real discipline, is a stone in the heart. It does not move with the seasons. It does not break under pressure. It becomes the quiet structure of your days, your thoughts, your choices. And if you want to be ready when the moment arrives, when that unseen door opens, when the challenge appears, when destiny knocks, you must live your life in such a way that your preparation becomes your identity. To live in discipline is to understand that every single day is training, whether you are on the mountain or in the valley, whether life is light or heavy, whether you are being watched or forgotten. None of that matters. The question is, did you show up today? Did you sit with your mind? Did you confront your weakness? Did you carry yourself with awareness? Did you stay faithful to your principles when no one was around to applaud? Because that is what preparation really is. It is not just about skill or strength or tactics. It is about honesty. The one who is truly prepared is the one who refuses to lie to themselves about who they are. They see their gaps and they close them. They see their fears and they face them. They see their laziness and they override it. Not once, not twice, but every day. Especially the days when the body hurts. Especially the days when the mind rebels. Especially the days when quitting seems easier than continuing. That is when preparation becomes something sacred. Many people believe that they can begin once they are ready, but this is a lie that comforts the weak. You do not wait to be ready. You become ready through repetition, through discomfort, through embracing the small things, waking up with intention, breathing with presence, speaking with awareness, training with focus, reflecting without distraction. These things seem small, but they are the building blocks of unshakable strength. You will never reach readiness without the struggle. You will never find clarity without effort. And you will never succeed by hoping the moment will be kind to you. The moment is never kind. It is neutral. It simply reveals who you really are. Do not expect opportunity to arrive with an invitation. It comes disguised as difficulty. It comes hidden in the ordinary. And unless you are awake, unless your spirit has been trained to see, unless your body has been disciplined to respond, you will miss it. It will slip past you, and all you will feel is regret. The regret of the unprepared. The regret of knowing the door was there but you were not ready to walk through it. That kind of pain stays with you. And that is why preparation matters more than victory. Because the one who is prepared may fall, may lose, may stumble, but they will never be broken. They will always rise again, because rising has become their nature. If you wish to walk a meaningful path, one that leads to mastery, to transformation, to freedom, you must marry your life to discipline. Not temporarily, not when it's easy, not when it's convenient, but always. It must become your posture, your inner rhythm, your non-negotiable standard. You must learn to find satisfaction in the process, in the sharpening, in the friction, because there is no excellence without it, and there is no inner peace without the knowledge that you have done what you said you would do, even when you did not feel like doing it. The one who lives in discipline walks a lonely road, at first. Others may not understand. They may laugh. They may question. They may say, "Why are you doing all of this? Nothing is happening yet." But that is exactly the point. Discipline is what you do when nothing is happening. Preparation is the investment you make when there is no audience, no applause, no spotlight. Because when the light does come, when the test arrives, when the pressure mounts, that is when the prepared one stands tall, while others fall. That is when the seeds planted in silence bear fruit in the storm. Discipline trains you to live ahead of your time. While others are living in reaction, you are living in anticipation. While others are surprised by difficulty, you are shaped by it. While others break under pressure, you remain calm, grounded, unmoved, because you have seen the storm before. In your training, in your meditation, in your cold mornings, in your lonely evenings, in the pain you embraced when no one was watching. So when it comes in reality, it is familiar. You have rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. That is the power of preparation. It makes the extraordinary feel normal. You must stop thinking that preparation is a punishment. It is a gift, a sacred ritual. It is the space where you return to yourself, where you confront your limitations and expand beyond them, where you silence the noise of the world and meet the truth of your being. There is a stillness that comes with discipline, a fire that does not burn out, a strength that does not announce itself loudly, but is known when things fall apart. It is the quiet knowing that you are ready, not because someone told you, but because you have built yourself, moment by moment, choice by choice. So if you feel something is about to happen in your life, if you feel the winds of change beginning to move, do not ask for more signs, do not look for permission, do not wait for the moment to arrive before you begin. Begin now. Begin where you are. Begin in your thoughts. Begin in your breath. Begin in the small actions that no one sees. Prepare yourself, not out of fear, but out of respect, for the path, for the opportunity, for yourself. And understand this: whatever is coming, you will not rise to the occasion. You will fall to the level of your preparation. So make sure that level is high. Make sure your foundation is deep. Make sure your soul is disciplined. Because when the storm comes, and it will come, the world will separate into two kinds of people: those who panic and those who perform. Those who wish they had trained and those who are grateful they did. Those who crumble and those who carry others. Which one you become is not decided in that moment. It is decided now, in how you breathe, in how you walk, in how you spend your time, in what you tolerate from yourself. The standard you hold when no one is looking becomes the strength you rely on when everyone is watching. Preparation is not glorious, it is not glamorous, it is hard, it is boring, it is painful, but it is the price you pay for freedom. The freedom to rise when others fall, the freedom to act when others freeze, the freedom to stay true to your values even when the pressure is great. That kind of freedom does not come from chance, it is earned, and the only currency that earns it is discipline. So live today like the test is already here. Speak today like the opportunity is already listening. Walk today like the mountain is already rising in front of you, because even if the moment has not yet arrived, it is coming. And when it does, there will be no time to get ready. You will either be ready or you will not. And readiness is not something you find. It is something you build, discipline by discipline, moment by moment. No, not tomorrow. Now, there is a quiet danger that grows inside a person who waits too long. It is not always visible. It does not shout, it creeps in slowly, like moisture into the walls, like rust on steel, like silence that becomes too loud. The danger is this: that we begin to wait for life to become perfect before we start living, that we begin to wait for strength before we start training, that we begin to wait for certainty before we commit to the path. But life is not waiting for you. The test does not ask if you are ready. The door will not pause before it closes. If you live in the habit of waiting, you are training your mind to postpone its power. And a postponed mind is a weakened mind. Many people believe that stillness and passivity are the same, but they are not. Stillness is awareness without movement. It is controlled, awake, present. Passivity is surrender without clarity. It is hesitation disguised as patience. One sharpens your presence, the other softens your will. To wait unnecessarily is to tell life, I do not yet believe in my ability to respond. And when you tell life that again and again, your belief begins to decay, your courage begins to fade, your confidence becomes quiet. And one day, when the moment arrives, when the opportunity is right in front of you, you will hesitate. And that hesitation will cost you everything. You see, the mind that waits too long becomes used to waiting. It creates a mental architecture around delay. It starts to associate comfort with preparation and discomfort with risk. But discomfort is not something to fear. It is the teacher. It is the test. It is the proof that you are alive and awake and standing on the edge of growth. If you only act when you feel perfect, you will never act. If you only move when you feel fearless, you will never move. Waiting is a habit. And if that habit becomes stronger than your discipline, your potential will remain buried beneath hesitation forever. In the Shaolin tradition, we train not just the body, but the reaction of the mind. When we are in stillness, it is deliberate. When we are in motion, it is focused. But we do not train to become reactive. We train to become responsive. There is a difference. Reaction is driven by fear, emotion, urgency. It is impulsive. Response is born from discipline, awareness, and calm readiness. But you can only respond to life when you have practiced showing up fully, without delay. The moment you pause to doubt yourself, the moment you hesitate to act, is the moment you surrender your power. You surrender it to the fear, to the doubt, to the excuses that have lived in your mind longer than your truth. So many people live in waiting rooms they have built for themselves. They say, once I am more confident, I will start. Once I feel stronger, I will face it. Once I have more time, I will commit. These are the voices of a mind that has not been disciplined. These are the voices of delay. They are subtle but deadly. Because they seem wise, they seem logical. But logic without courage is just fear in disguise. Your future does not require your perfection, it requires your presence. And presence can only be trained by movement, by action, by stepping into the unknown and discovering that you are more ready than you thought. The mind that cracks under pressure is not the weak mind, it is the untrained mind. Just like a blade that breaks was never properly tempered, a person who falls apart at the first sign of struggle has not built the habit of pressure. And so, pressure feels like a threat. But to the disciplined mind, pressure is not something to avoid, it is something to master. Because pressure reveals. It reveals where your fear still lives. It reveals where your discipline still needs reinforcement, where your identity still depends on comfort. And these revelations are gifts. They are not curses. They show you where to work. There is a concept we practice every day: readiness without expectation. It means you are prepared to act at any moment, but not dependent on the moment to act. You do not rely on external forces to awaken your power. You cultivate it daily. You awaken it within. Whether the world gives you a stage or not, you still train. Whether the test arrives or not, you still prepare. Whether the opportunity knocks or not, you still sharpen your mind. Because this is not about the world rewarding you. This is about you not abandoning yourself. This is about building an inner world that is stronger than whatever outer world you face. Hesitation is not neutral. It is a seed. And if you let it grow, it becomes a forest of delays, doubts, distractions. Every time you hesitate, you are practicing something. You are rehearsing failure. And the mind does not know the difference between what you do once and what you repeat. It just learns. So if you are always waiting, your mind learns to wait. If you are always stalling, your body learns to stall. But if you act, if you move forward, if you respond, even in small ways, your mind begins to shift. It learns courage. It learns clarity. It learns trust. In our tradition, there is no ceremony before the test, no grand announcement. The master simply looks into your eyes and says, "Now." And you must act. Not because you feel ready, but because your training has made you ready. So you bow and you step forward. That is the moment where the mind shows its shape, not in the comfort of preparation, but in the fire of execution. The warrior who fails is not the one who was weak. It is the one who waited too long to believe they were strong. So let this be your moment of awakening. If you are hearing this, it is not by accident. Something is stirring in your life. A shift, a calling, a change. And if you wait too long, it will pass you by. There is something that wants to be born through you. A strength, a purpose, a vision. But it cannot emerge through waiting. It needs your action. It needs your movement. It needs your willingness to begin, even if you do not feel perfect, especially if you do not feel perfect. The true warrior does not need perfect conditions. They need only one thing: commitment. A decision made once and honored daily, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. Not just when it's clear, but when it's cloudy. Because the mind that has been trained in discipline does not wait for certainty, it creates it. It steps forward in the dark and lights the path with presence. And the more you walk like this, the more your doubts begin to fade, the more your fear loses its grip, and the more you realize that you never needed to wait. You were always enough to begin. If you knew that you would not get another chance, would you still wait? If you knew that this moment was the door, would you still hesitate? If you knew that your waiting was the only thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live, would you still sit in silence? These are the questions you must ask yourself. Because the truth is, you do not get this moment again. This breath, this heartbeat, this chance. It will not return. And the regret of not trying is far heavier than the fear of failing. So stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. Stop waiting for the fear to go away. It will not. Stop waiting to feel ready. You won't. You become ready by stepping. You become wise by choosing. You become strong by facing. And when you do, when you finally rise and respond to the call, you will discover that your mind did not need more time. It needed more trust. But what is about to happen in your life will require a mind that does not crack. A mind that has been trained through movement, not through waiting. A mind that meets the world not with fear, but with stillness. Not with panic, but with presence. Not with hesitation, but with harmony. This is your training. This is your test. This is your moment. Now step forward. Not because you are fearless, but because your discipline is greater than your doubt. There is a dangerous assumption that many carry through life, that when something important is about to happen, they will know, that there will be a sign, a signal, a moment of clarity so obvious that it will be impossible to miss. But this is not how life works. Life does not always give you a warning, it gives you a window. A small, silent moment that appears without announcement, without trumpet, without explanation. A window that opens for a breath and then closes. And in that breath, everything changes. People often wait for the world to prepare them, for life to tap them on the shoulder and say, "Now it's your turn." But the moment does not speak. The moment does not beg. The moment does not negotiate. It simply appears. And if you have not trained yourself to be ready without warning, you will miss it. You will blink and it will be gone. And what is left will not be a memory, it will be a wound. The wound of having been close to something great, but unprepared to receive it. In the temple we are taught to move before the shadow falls, to sense the shift before the noise, to act not when it is safe, but when it is time. And time is not always polite. It does not consult your fear. It does not ask if you feel ready. It arrives, sudden, sharp. And if you have not cultivated stillness, awareness, discipline, you will panic. You will freeze. You will look around for help, and there will be none. Because the test is not a performance. It is a mirror. And that mirror will show you not who you think you are, but who you truly are. Beneath the surface, beneath the comfort, beneath the image you present to the world. If you believe you will have time to get ready when it matters, you are already late. Readiness is not something you build in the fire. It is something you bring to the fire. You do not train in the storm. You train before it arrives. You do not learn to swim when the wave crashes. You learn while the ocean is calm. This is the wisdom of discipline, to live in preparation, even when there is no visible reason, to move with presence, even when nothing seems urgent, to sharpen the sword when peace is all around, not because you expect war, but because you respect yourself enough to be ready for whatever comes. Many wait for signs, for confirmations, for the perfect alignment of events before they act. They say, once I know for sure, then I will begin. But certainty is not a prerequisite for action. It is the result of action. You do not wait for perfect timing. You create timing by moving. Life responds to energy, to intent, to momentum. The longer you wait, the heavier your limbs become, the slower your instinct, the quieter your inner voice. And when the moment finally comes, it will not find you awake. It will find you asleep in your own excuses. And the truth is, you will never know what moment matters most until it has passed. You will never know which conversation was the turning point, which opportunity was the door, which decision was the test, until much later, when the dust has settled and the consequences have arrived. This is why awareness is essential. Not dramatic awareness, not anxious awareness, but calm, rooted, focused presence. To live with the understanding that any moment could be the moment. Any choice could echo far beyond today. Any step could be the one that changes your path forever. In the martial tradition, we do not train only when danger is near. We train every day, not because we expect attack, but because we honor the unseen. Because we understand that the next blow, the next leap, the next threshold, it will not come with a signal. It will come like a wave in the night, unexpected, absolute. And the body must respond before the mind can even speak. That is mastery. That is readiness. Mastery, readiness, that is why you practice, not for the times when you feel strong, but for the times when strength is demanded without warning. This world is unpredictable. Life does not operate on your timeline. It will not ask if you have slept enough. It will not care if you were distracted. It will not slow down because you feel overwhelmed. It will simply arrive, and you must meet it. As you are, with what you've built, with what you've repeated, with what you've carried in silence all these years. So if you've spent your days numbing yourself, delaying your growth, hiding your truth, when it comes you will be exposed. But if you've trained, if you've walked the path, even when no one was watching, even when it was hard, even when you doubted, you will stand. There is a particular kind of pain that comes from knowing you were not ready when it counted. It is not the pain of loss. It is the pain of knowing you lost something that was yours to hold. That you let the moment slip, not because it wasn't yours, but because you were too slow to see it, too distracted to feel it, too unprepared to take it. That pain lingers. It stays in the bones. It whispers to you in quiet moments. What if you had acted sooner? What if you had trained harder? What if you had been ready? But this pain is not a punishment. It is a reminder. It tells you the truth, that life is sacred, that time is limited, that the most important things do not arrive with banners or announcements. They arrive as whispers, as shadows, as stillness before the quake. And you must become someone who can hear them, who can see them, who can sense them, This is why we breathe, why we meditate, why we practice, not to impress, not to perform, but to listen, to become sensitive to the rhythm of the world, to move with the unseen currents that most ignore. When it comes, it will not ask your name, it will not care about your comfort, it will not measure your potential, it will measure your preparation. It will ask, have you built the inner world strong enough to carry the weight of this next season? And if the answer is no, it will pass you by, without malice, without apology, because the universe does not wait for those who wait. It moves with those who move. It opens for those who knock. It reveals itself to those who seek. So today, now, is the only chance you have. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Do not confuse silence for absence. Do not confuse peace for delay. Something is always unfolding, something is always coming, and the only way to meet it with power is to become power. To train your body, your breath, your thoughts, so that when the unknown appears, you recognize it as familiar, as something you have already met in your meditation, in your hardship, in your long walks alone. The test, when it comes, will feel new to others, but not to you, because you have already passed it in your spirit. The moment you're waiting for will not wait for you. It will not stop and explain itself. It will not make room for hesitation. It will arrive like lightning. And by the time you decide to move, it will be gone. So move now, not recklessly, not in fear, but in rhythm. Train, focus, breathe, sharpen every day, because the door you are seeking may already be open. And the only thing keeping you from walking through it is the idea that it will wait. Do not let that idea ruin your life. Prepare for the unknown, not with anxiety, but with devotion. Approach your days, not with urgency, but with discipline. Build yourself in the silence, so that when the noise comes, you remain unmoved. And remember, when it comes, it will not ask if you are ready. It will only reveal whether you are. So train not to become something, but to remember who you already are. The mountain does not announce the avalanche. The sky does not warn before the lightning strikes. And life, true life, does not always knock. Sometimes it simply walks in. And when it does, may it find you ready